You're
Like, you don't see any wrong, Lily?
huh?
I'm sorry, bro. You're going to get misgendered. I'm going to do it right now. You're a man. There we go.
It is already a crime to be trans in Florida.
Does this look like someone who feels unsafe, that feels like their very existence in Florida is illegal?
But there are some trans people out there who will never pass. Those people shouldn't have to worry about getting misgendered, right? Like they shouldn't.
That is literally how being trans is. You do have to worry about that shit. Or you decide you don't really care and you just do it for you. Isn't that the better way?
If you are a woman, you are a woman.
Being trans is not an objective state of being. It is subjective.
You have a significant reach. Your most viewed videos is 40 million.
Not even close to 40 million.
39.4 million. Yes, almost 40 million.
I know you're smart, Lily.
I know I'm smart too.
I love you, Mary.
We're going to watch this lillytino interview. It's going to be interesting. We have this Mariah May Kay. I don't know anything about this person. I believe they're also trans. But yeah, I don't know. Let's get into it. We've got a full interview with lillytino, 26th of June, 2025. Apparently lillytino is like stepping away from social media. I'll have a look into that afterwards. But I want to just see what went on here. So let's see. Let's go.
Everybody that doesn't know me, my name is Mariah. I'm a 39-year-old single parent. I've been transitioning for 3.5 years. As a member of the trans community and a dad to 3 children, including 2 daughters, I do not take this opportunity to speak with Lily lightly. I do not know Lily personally, and I've had very little interaction with Lily prior to this. No questions are off limits, and I've not shared any questions.
Who is this? Mariah May Kay.
With Lily, correct? Prior to us speaking now.
Correct.
Throughout the interview, I will attempt to remain non-biased and refrain from stating my own
I'm definitely getting like autism inflections, but I can't talk on that front, so hey.
personal feelings or opinions on any of these matters. I will remain respectful, but I will be asking very straightforward and deeply personal questions as we go through this. Due to community guidelines, I will not be describing a lot of these situations in detail and may use code words in my questions. Thank you, everyone, for your time, and thank you, Lily, for letting me do this with you.
Thank you for interviewing me.
All right.
Quick, I think I already know, but just so we're on the record, what are your pronouns?
My pronouns are she, her. Okay. Just to get started, how old are you, Lily?
I'm 32.
32, okay. How was your childhood and what type of upbringing did you have as a child?
I had a relatively privileged childhood. I grew up in upper middle class. Parents were together, still are together. 1 sibling. They're lovely, very kind. No, beyond normal family things, no real issues in the household. Lots of love. No, I had a pretty normal upbringing. I went to school. I went to college. My dad was in the Army for a lot of my upbringing. Some of it he wasn't, some of it he was. Yeah.
Why does he insist on the crop top? There's an unwritten rule with crop tops. If you're the kind of person that can pull off a crop top, you're not going to wear a crop top. If you cannot pull a crop top off, that's when you're going to wear one.
Okay. What are you most proud of?
I'm proud of getting sober. I was lost for many years, very sad and not in tune with myself. And eventually I got sober, and that sobriety, among other things, helped me start my transition, which is also something I'm very proud of.
Okay. What is your longest relationship you've ever had?
A couple years at the most, depending on how you count. There was someone who I was with kind of like a couple times, depending on how you count. But a couple years is about as close as I can get it.
Have you ever been in love?
Yes,
Do you love yourself?
I do. Sometimes I don't like myself, but I've been working on self-love a lot lately, and I think come a long way.
Do you have a degree? Have you been to college?
Yeah. I have a bachelor's in media and cultural studies from McAllister College.
What type of jobs did you have prior to social media?
I worked at a summer camp for many years where I was an educator in a kitchen. I had like an instructional kitchen for 5 summers. I was very proud of that job. I learned a lot about myself and about others. And from there, I transitioned into the nonprofit world, mainly the Jewish nonprofit world, where I had, several jobs that were varying degrees of okay. And then eventually I got a job in tech, which is why I moved to San Francisco. And that was the last job I had before I started doing this.
Okay, were you ever fired from a job?
No. Well, I was laid off as a part of a round of layoffs.
He's asking about getting fired from a job. Like, I kind of wonder. There was this allegation about lillytino getting like done for harassment, like sexual harassment of a colleague or something. But there was like zero fucking evidence for any of this shit ever happening. I mean, it's not like they'd admit to it if this happened, but like so many like gender critical people on like Twitter were just straight away believing this shit. It was really cringe. It's a bit like when people make shit up about Donald Trump. It's like, do you not have any like genuine things you hate about him? Like, it's the same with lillytino. You don't need to make things up about this person,
The last job I had was at a mobile gaming company, which no longer exists. And basically they made some decisions with the company that didn't go so well. And that's why the company doesn't exist anymore. And me being laid off was a part of that.
But you were never actually like fired from a job, so to say.
I've never been fired from a job. I've been in trouble for not doing the best job in the past, but I've never been fired.
Okay. How long have you been, or when did you start transitioning?
I realized I was trans I always forget the day. I think it's October
Lily worked at Epic Games. No way. Crazy.
20th, 2020. And right then and there is when I started my transition.
Okay. When and why did you start social media and creating content?
I've always been a creator. I have, from when I was little, I made like videos in the backyard with my cousins on like a handheld recorder camera thing. When I was in college, I made some like short or some like videos for my summer camp about cooking. And, like social media content, I started doing casually around the time that I started my transition. I went viral on LinkedIn, weirdly, of all places to start with. And, started building a following there, and then started building on TikTok as well. And by the time I got laid off from my tech job, I had
You said last week I'd been more impressed. Yeah. Kind of reaffirms how maybe this just isn't for some people,
like a base of a following, and that's how I was able to.
Why the yelling question? I probably just talk this way. It's a bit like that Skylar from Dollcast, the one that like talks in all caps,
To start doing it for a living.
Okay, what is your definition of a woman?
That's a tough one because a lot of people have a very specific and narrow definition. But at the end of the day, for me, if you feel like a woman, then you are. There is no...
That's obviously completely retarded. If you feel like a woman, what does it mean to feel like a woman? How does a male person feel like a woman?
Body, there are no rules of how your body needs to be
Jimmy Neutron head, yeah, a little bit.
configured. If you are a...
Like, here's the thing. Let's say that anyone who feels like a woman is a woman. Then do we need a new class? Do we need a new way of classifying people by sex? If we're not using woman to mean like adult females anymore, then surely we need another word for adult female, right? Because now the word is meaningless. Either you're an adult female or you feel like one. It's really quite silly. We need to start pushing the fucking attack helicopter shit again, because that's what these people are doing. It's whatever you call yourself. Okay, well, I'm a mule deer. There we go.
A woman, you are a woman. If you are a woman, you are a woman.
Nice.
Okay. What do you hope people remember you for?
I don't know. I wish there would have been a bit of like pushback, but then this person might well have the exact same like ideal, you know what I mean? But you're both male. Neither of you know what it feels like to be a woman. I'm exactly the same. I'm just more honest about that shit.
That's something I never really thought about. I don't know. Hopefully for making them feel hopeful, or for teaching them something, or for keeping them company.
Okay. How do you deal with constant criticism and negativity all of this has brought with it?
I
have good people around me. I have supportive friends and family, and I
got to say, so far it's like zero chemistry. It's just question, answer, question, answer. There's no real like back and forth, but maybe it'll pick up a bit.
learned how to process the negativity and channel it into creative energy, but it does affect me quite a bit.
Understand.
Well, they seem to want to like destroy the traditional concept of woman. I don't know. My answer is, why would I be obsessed with like taking on a label that just doesn't belong to me, you know? Does it really matter?
Do you consider yourself an advocate for trans rights? If so, please explain how.
Yes, absolutely. I do.
This person, if they're an advocate for trans rights, they are doing everything wrong. They are only capable of making things worse.
My platform, I use my platform to advocate and educate, not on behalf of the transgender community as a whole. That's not fair. I don't think anyone can really say that because it's a big community. But my goal is to bring the absolute basics, right? Like the most like core essential things about the trans experience and make them easily understandable and catchy and interesting for the average person who maybe has never met a trans person as far as they know.
Okay. Have you ever been charged or convicted of a crime?
One time. I've never talked about this. I'm
gonna guess some kind of drug thing.
We'll talk around this because it's of the keywords, but let's just say that about a decade ago, I had, how do I say this? Gardening supplies with me. And yeah, nothing, no criminal charges related to anything other than that, though.
Gardening supplies? Like, what is that, like a code word for like weed or something?
Okay. You've never had a restraining order put against you?
Fertilizer bomb? Hey, maybe. In a past life, lillytino was a terrorist or something.
Anyone in your personal life ever accused you of stalking or harassment?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's the allegation that we've been hearing. There's no evidence out there for this. Like I said, I don't like lillytino. Why the fuck would I? But like, if you don't like someone, why would you make things up about them? You should have like real reasons why you don't like someone. It's like when people are so obsessively like hating of someone like Donald Trump, they start making shit up about him. It's like, is there not real shit about him that you hate, you know?
Have you ever had a Reddit account with the name Pomegranate in it?
Yes.
You spoke about this a little bit earlier about becoming clean, and you're clean now?
Wait, it's like such a non sequitur. We just asked that question, he says yes, and then it's like something else completely.
You spoke about this a little bit earlier about becoming clean, and you're clean now?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have or have you ever had anger management issues?
Nothing formally diagnosed, nor do I think that's something I need to be evaluated for. But certainly, there's a lot in the world to be angry about. And there's a lot of things in my past that I, wish had happened differently, right? It's tough to spend so many years kind of just like not doing anything, installing and not being yourself and kind of wasting away. And then one day realize like,
why is he on the set of Blockbusters? I'm not old enough to give an answer for that, unfortunately.
oh, I could have been doing something differently the whole time. That's frustrating.
Okay.
The thing is, yeah, like they just ask questions, they answer, and then move on. At the same time, I don't know if the way Lily like communicates is very conducive to like natural conversation. And I feel this way about a lot of these kinds of people. They're very guarded. They're very you just don't quite get real person vibes from them. Like you don't really know what they're like when they're just like relaxed, you know. Gardening supplies is in anhydrous ammonia. He's an ex-meth cook. That would make a lot of sense. Thank you.
I saw something about a doctor incident when you were younger. Is this a real situation?
Yeah.
Was what I saw real?
Yeah. Basically, I had a Reddit account when I was younger. That was like, I guess the comments in question were around 2011. So I was about 18 years old. I was like just starting college. And basically what happened was I recounted a story from my past when I was 3, and there was another person who was 3. We were 3 years old, both of us. And we played doctor. And when I was 18, which was, again, 15 years later, I made a very off-color joke about that experience. I thought I was being like an edgelord at the time. Shocking humor was like what I thought was, cutting edge and cool and funny.
Was this something that you like you have memories of, or did you get like found doing this during this situation?
Yeah, I did. I have very vague memories. I was 3, so it's like pretty fuzzy. But basically, like, we played doctor once, and the school that we went to saw or found out, or I really don't remember, and I was reprimanded, and that was it.
And that's the only incident of that type of nature that happened as a child. Have you ever been essayed?
No.
Have you ever knowingly taken money?
It's so funny. They're like they're very blunt, aren't they? Have you ever been essayed? I probably shouldn't laugh at that, but like, Jesus Christ. I don't know, listen. And there's a certain extent to which I like appreciate the autism vibes,
Money or receive donations from a
Someone said earlier they're like a vet or something. Like an autistic vet. I can definitely see that,
minor. Have you ever knowingly taken money or received donations from a minor?
No.
Oh, we know that it'll have happened. Surely some child at some point has fucking taken their mum's credit card and fucking given money to this creep. I couldn't possibly buy that. Hasn't happened.
I will say that, like, on this app, it is pretty difficult, right? Like, knowingly is the key word, right? Someone could easily sub and be younger, right? But I would have no way of knowing that.
This is true.
I mean, that I can also buy, of course. Brian Belletic. I kind of see that, actually. Put some makeup on him.
I have seen a Discord screenshot where you admit to a situation around posting discriminatory remarks. Do you discriminate towards anyone based off their race? Basically, are you the R word?
Oh, I have no idea what screenshot you're talking about.
It was a Discord screenshot, and it looked like something you had posted in a Discord.
Well, like, they have a tattoo on their head, assuming you mean the one on the left. lillytino's hairline probably looks odd because they had, like, surgery to pull it forward, which, I don't know. You can imagine how far back it was. They used to have, like, the fringe.
Or
Can you read it, or
do what?
can you read it? Because I really don't know what you're referring to.
It was just basically a confession about making some remarks.
Like, surely you'd screenshot this kind of stuff and then maybe, like, put it on, put it on screen. Maybe I'm just going to be bitching about everyone not doing this anymore. Like, if you know this exists, if you've seen it yourself, like, you can screenshot that shit and show it, right?
I don't really want to say the word of what it was. But you're not discriminatory.
I don't know what it was about. On the same
Have you ever said slurs on Discord? Wow.
Reddit account, like the one that I was talking about, there was another comment where, again, I was like being, like, oh my gosh, like the edgelord kind of, the Elon humor kind of, when I was, 8.
Should have asked why he dressed up as Miss Rachel. I mean, listen, we got plenty of time.
18 and angry and sad. There was some, like, really racist thing online that I saw, and I was like, oh, this, like, I posted some comment that was like, wow, it's so funny. Well, come on, guys, it's a joke. Which was like,
You don't think they had FFS? Like, what the stuff they showed, there was some kind of scar along the hairline. There was some kind of bump. The nose looks a slightly different shape. I can buy this person had surgery. It's just that what we're starting with, that surgery is not going to do shit. What, this bald person's child is also trans? Jesus Christ. They said that they were like a father. I don't remember them saying anything about their kid being trans. Maybe I wasn't listening.
Dumb and stupid, and even at the time, not reflective of how I felt. But yeah, I'm assuming that's what it's referring to. But I've never.
I'm pretty sure that's the situation that I was specifically referring to.
Yeah, there's never like knowingly, discriminated against anyone as like beyond something stupid like that 15 years ago when I was on like comment boards.
You talked a little bit about getting clean earlier and that kind of leading into your realization of being trans. I believe I've also heard that you found out you were trans during COVID and after being
You don't find out you're trans, by the way. You decide that you're trans, just so we're clear. I will correct anyone that says this anytime, anywhere, ever. Being trans is not an objective state of being. It is subjective.
cheated on in a prior relationship. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. No, that's not true.
Never been cheated on.
Do you think without COVID you would have ever found out you
Don't know if I believe him on that one, but okay.
were trans?
I think I would have. I don't know if it would have been exactly how, at the same time, because it's hard to like anticipate that. But I actually started my
The man that wants to call him mum. To be fair, didn't he call himself a dad earlier? I don't know. Where are you getting this from? I can't see anything. I looked up their channel just now. I'm not really seeing much about their kid. Like, no, do we have links or anything? Are they going to talk about the Kurt Cobain shit? I'm so tired of hearing about that shit. I don't even care about like speculating on someone's gender identity. Like, do what the fuck you want in that regard. Like, the only real problem I have with it is that this person doesn't like being labeled certain things, but is happy to like label other people certain things, I don't give a fuck. Like, speculate on anyone's gender identity. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Yeah, I don't know.
sober journey late 2019.
You think he got bored during COVID, sort of the hype Dylan got, simply dressing up? Yeah, maybe.
Like at the very end of the year. And I think that was probably the thing that informed it the most. But maybe having time being in lockdown to like reflect sped up the process. And also me getting a job in San Francisco was informed by COVID to a certain extent. And being in San Francisco, which is a more inclusive place than where I was before, which was Georgia, probably had an effect too.
Are we tacitly admitting, what's the word? Social contagion? I moved to San Francisco. Suddenly I'm trans. Don't know. Calls himself dad but goes by she, her pronouns. Yeah. I mean, fucking hell, pronouns are their own fucking thing. Hope they don't have info on their kid on their channel. I had a quick look. There aren't many videos. I didn't see any mention of like their kid. Like, there really isn't much to speak of here. I mean, wait, Disney, please ban lillytino from your parks. Fucking backstabber.
Dear Disney, on behalf of millions of Americans, the trans community, and for all the parents in this...
Listen, if this person doesn't have autism, then I don't know. I will eat this fucking glass. No way do they not have autism.
country, we are insisting that lillytino, who may possibly be legally identified as Nick Contino, be permanently banned from entering your theme parks. Lily has recently admitted to intentionally going to Disney World and Disneyland to create controversial and inappropriate content with the intent of sparking negative reactions
I also really do not like this wig. I don't know what this look is meant to be.
for their rage-based
Like, their makeup's okay, I guess. Like, the eyebrows are a bit too arched, but they're at least like, they're decently well done, I guess.
platform. Lily
He's trans and his child is trans. Did he mention it? Listen, I'm taking people's word for it because I haven't seen anything about their kid being trans. Like, maybe they mentioned something about it and I wasn't listening. I don't know.
has also taken unsolicited pictures of women and children inside of restrooms within your parks that have been posted on their platform and seen by millions. These individuals did not consent, and some have come forward stating that they are unhappy and feel their privacy.
Yeah, like their angry voice is just a very slightly higher pitch than their like normal voice.
has been violated. Your policy regarding the use of cameras inside of restrooms within your parks has also been violated. This situation is even under investigation.
I'm bored. I've heard this take a million times. Let's keep watching.
Okay. Do you think being trans is caused by your experiences and or environment, or do you feel you are just inherently trans?
The latter. Being transness is not a product of anything that you experience. It just is.
I disagree with that. You couldn't even define transness.
Did you ever feel out of place in your body prior to that realization of whenever that moment occurred? Did you ever have any experiences where you felt uncomfortable in your body?
I never felt comfortable, ever, before I transitioned, physically and emotionally. I didn't have the vocabulary to express that gender dysphoria that I was feeling. But looking back, yeah, all of them.
Okay, we're gonna start getting into some more like specific things here. Do you have any regrets about any of your content?
I'm just thinking. Not really. I mean, there are certain things that if I could go back, I would do differently.
So fine with the Miss Rachel shit, fine with talking about your cock and balls in front of children. Nice.
But I don't think that necessarily means, oh, I wish I
Lily is retconning the story. I mean, yeah, listen, I don't trust a single word this fucking person says. They don't come across like a real person to me.
hadn't, you know, like ideologically hadn't said something.
Like, I can just tell. I'm not the most, like, observant person in the world. I'm not the most perceptive person in the world, like body language and shit like that. Even I can tell this person is not being themselves.
You know, like ideologically hadn't said something.
Many?
But I don't think that necessarily means, oh, I wish I hadn't, you know, like ideologically hadn't said something.
Many have said that you intentionally seek to be misgendered for views, content, and free meals. You've said yourself that you don't have passing privilege, so to speak, and you have a deeper toned voice.
See, does he intentionally do it, or does he just know it's going to happen and milks it, you know? Not quite the same thing.
Toned voice like myself.
I'm sorry, that's just anti-trans.
I don't regret pulling a Lovecraft with my dog's name, lillytino.
Thank you so much for the $5. Outsanity.
How can you or we expect to not get misgendered?
I mean, that's the whole goal, right? That's one of the big things that I advocate for, is not...
Like, does that really answer the question? Like, from my point of view, he's trying to hold society over a barrel. He's trying to tell people, oh, well, you have to call me this, that, or the other. It's going to be a problem. He literally says as much in one of his TikToks. Like, he subscribes to this whole thing where it's like, well, other people should listen to me and do what I say, you know? And that doesn't work. You either look like a woman and get called she, her, or don't look like a woman and don't get called she, her, ultimately. You really can't force people to do any of that shit.
You know, no one is asked... I'm not asking anyone to read my mind. That's not on my slate of things to advocate for. I know that I don't pass. I know that I have a lower voice. I choose not to voice train. But when those videos of me getting misgendered go around, I know that I'm the one that puts them out. But it's difficult when I put those out to convey a greater context around it. That, like, I stream 4 times a week, if not more sometimes. In the past, I've done as much as 5 or 6 or 7 times a week. And I go to restaurants and I eat the food, hang out, and chat. And the vast majority of those times, I do not get misgendered, right? Sometimes I do. And when I do, I put those videos on the internet to draw attention to what happened, which is, hey, everyone should work on using more gender neutral.
Everyone should work on... See what I mean? You want society over a barrel. You're a fucking narcissist, is what you are, if you believe this kind of shit. You really can't force this kind of shit, man. You really can't. You can't, like, insulate...
Why am I dancing with that trans person?
...the world around you, you know? Oh, thank you so much, Amaya, for the 10 gifted subs. Thank you. Like, that's literally what they want. They want society over a barrel. It sucks. This isn't going to help anyone. This is going to contribute to further pushback. The way to do it
Why am I dancing with that trans person?
is to like dress for the pronouns you want to be given, to look the part, or don't expect those pronouns. People don't want to be told what to say. People don't want to be told, I know I look like a fucking man,
Why am I
but
dancing
I'm
with that
telling you you have
trans
to call me a
person?
she. Because people are going to be like, well, I don't see you as a she. Why should I have to, you know? How many people are going to feel like a right fucking retard saying, oh, you're a woman.
Why am I
Hi,
dancing with that
Lily.
trans person?
Hello, she, her. You know what I mean?
Language. That is one of the big asks of my content, and the things I'm trying to educate about is we all should be using.
Not
Why am I
educating.
dancing with that
Why
trans
should
person?
anyone be using gender neutral language? We've been trying to push this shit for a long time and it's not working. At what point do you just give up and accept that all you're doing is pissing people off?
Why am I dancing with that trans
And we're like,
person?
the fucking backlash against trans people in culture is like in full swing now, you know?
Using more gender neutral language. So how can we expect not to get misgendered? The hope is that
Why am I dancing
if
with
we
that
advocate
trans
enough,
person?
no one will have to worry about that.
If we advocate enough, it doesn't work that way. All you're doing is annoying people. Like, you think if you keep annoying people, eventually they'll
Why am I
cave?
dancing
Is that
with
what
that
it
trans
is?
person?
You make enough threats on your TikTok. If you're going to call me a he, it's going to be a confrontation. I think if you're a paying customer,
Why am I
you should call
dancing
people
with
what
that
they want
trans
to be.
person?
Well, the thing is, when he gets misgendered at these places, he's often very unreasonable about it. It'll be some like foreigner who probably hasn't really met any trans people in their life. They come over and are working
Why
like
am
a
I
minimum
dancing with
wage
that
job.
trans person?
Way less than that. Americans get paid fuck all for like waiting jobs because they expect like tips and stuff. Like the way that he treats people. I don't know if you've seen any of the compilations and stuff. Like Karening up, getting the managers, wasting food, complaining, all this kind of shit. It goes far beyond just, well, he's a paying customer, they should call him what they want. Like, people can't read minds, that's the thing. And you can't really expect, if you look and sound like this, you just can't really expect people to call you a she. No amount of advocating for like gender neutral language is going to do that. People have been advocating for gender neutral language a long time. It's not working. It's actually actively pushing people away at this point, you know?
Right? If we advocate enough, people like, and I don't know where you fall on this. I think that if I voice trained and maybe changed my body language a little bit and, you know, did a couple other things, I could be in the realm of passing. Probably, maybe.
Nah, that's bullshit. Not gonna happen.
But there are some trans people out there who will never pass, be it for financial reasons.
Yeah, life sucks for some people. Life isn't fair. I don't pass like amazingly well myself. That's fine. I don't care what anyone calls me anymore. Like, that's just how it is for some people. If you're not going to look anything like a woman, maybe that's something to consider before you start transitioning. Is this going to make you happy? Are people going to call you what you want them to? Because you can't really expect that from anyone.
Reasons, or because maybe they're too old to pass.
Like we were watching that Alexis Blake thing yesterday. Like, well, non-passing trans women should still be able to use the women's toilets. Why? They look like men. Women are going to see them. They're not going to necessarily even know that they're trans. They're going to see like a man in their midst. They might not be happy about that. Whose bathroom is it meant to be, you know?
Because, you know, it takes a lot. You know, estrogen takes time. Like, if you start transitioning at 60, you're probably not going to be able to get there. And those people shouldn't have to worry about getting misgendered, right? Like, they shouldn't.
That is fucking literally how being trans is. You do have to worry about that shit. Or you decide you don't really care and you just do it for you. Isn't that the better way? Welcome to being trans. There is never going to be a world where people are able to take on the other supposed social role and as much as they can live as a woman and try and look like a woman. There is never going to be a world where those people are not going to get misgendered. There's never going to be a world where non-passing trans women are going to still get misgendered. That's just how it is. And the thing is, we try and teach people, oh, if you get someone's pronouns wrong, it's not a big deal. Just apologize and move on. Well, this motherfucker is constantly like complaining to management and getting like free food. When you see these like trans identifying females on like TikTok screaming in their cars because someone called them a she at their job or something, there's mixed messages. On the one hand, oh, it's not a big deal. Just correct yourself and move on. It's fine. It happens. Everyone gets things wrong. On the other hand, if you do this, it's literally going to ruin these people's fucking day. Like, it doesn't work. It's like paradoxical.
And have to say, well, I guess I'm just going to get misgendered 24/7.
Yeah, so just do it for you. Just like not care so much then. Someone's going to call you a he, so what? If you're transitioning, it should be for you anyway, not for everyone else.
What if they weren't? That's all.
Sometimes it appears
Never going to happen, and this person is only going to make it worse. You're only going to push people further away from that ideal. Sorry to break it to you.
do you ever feel like you could respond differently? Sometimes it appears if like a scene's being made, and if it means so much to you to not be made.
He calls the restaurant beforehand, intimidate them not to misgender him. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he says about like, oh, I called ahead. Like, are they going to go around to the staff? Okay, the bloke on table 17 or whatever, make sure you don't call him a he because he's like going to get pissy about it. Yeah, we don't want to give away fucking free food to this utter freak. It's incredibly like optimistic to the point where I really don't know if I agree with any of this. I don't believe any of this shit I say. I don't think I can in good faith say that I think lillytino is serious with any of this shit. It almost seems like parody, you know?
Misgender like personally, how come you don't want to put more into like voice training and things like that?
Let me take the first half of that first, right? Like that I'm making a scene. I know you're not the only person who has suggested that I'm overreacting, or that my reaction is uncalled for. The reason I react like that is because, and I know this sounds silly, it's because that's who I am. I am a
Because he's a prick. There we go. At least he's honest.
confrontational person. I complain about things, not just about getting misgendered. I love complaining. But also, when I see an injustice, I will stand up to it.
An injustice? Is you being misgendered an injustice?
All the time, every time. So
People misgender Nick because he's a man. Yes, true.
when I get misgendered, that's just my natural reaction. Like, could I react differently? Sure.
Mate, he uses the word injustice in the same way fucking Elliot Rodger used the word injustice.
But I don't, because that's not who I am, right? As far as the second half of your question goes, why don't then if it means so much to me, if I get so upset about it, why do I not just voice train?
Working with Jewish charity, I don't know anything about that. His surname is Contino. I'm guessing like some Italian descent or other.
The answer there is because this is who I am. This is like, I like my voice. I like my voice. And I don't feel like I should be expected to change who I am just so that I don't have to deal with like a certain type of inconvenience, right?
Well, then don't get mad when it happens. How is this person not able to like square this fucking very obvious fucking fact of life? I'm sorry, bro, you're going to get misgendered. I'm going to do it right now. You're a man. There we go.
In a perfect world, everyone would use gender neutral language, and
Is that even a perfect world? We see a lot of backlash to like gender neutral language. You get women who say that they feel erased. You know, ironically, we'll talk about, well, you know, we have to say like pregnant people, for example, because it's inclusive to other people. And then women feel erased. It's a thing that women do, get pregnant. And now they feel like it's not about them anymore when it kind of is, because men can't get pregnant. I don't see how it's like a perfect world except for this person. It's like rank narcissism, you know?
I could have a deeper voice and not have to worry about it, not have to worry about getting misgendered, right?
Isn't the point of trans about changing how you look? I mean, technically it's just about trying to be happy, I guess. Someone like this isn't going to be happy. Like, it doesn't work. Clearly, you're not just doing it for you because you get very bothered about what other people say and how other people perceive you. They're Italian Jews. Hey, they could be like Jewish Italian, I don't know.
And that's what I'm advocating for, is for both things to be true.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing that lillytino wants is going to happen through them advocating. If they want this to happen genuinely, what they should do is shut the fuck up forever about it.
Why do you think it was okay for you to make the assumption and speculate that Kurt Cobain was trans when he is unable to respond to the allegation? Did you not think that that was disrespectful for you to assume?
Listen, I will defend lillytino. I don't give a fuck about this. Speculate about any gender identity you want. Speculate about anyone's gender identity that you want. The queer community does it all the time. How many, like, figures of the past do we queer up? Like people like Joan of Arc and stuff like that. A lot of people do this shit. So you need to either broaden your criticism and stop just focusing on the most easy target, that being lillytino, or accept that maybe people can just like speculate about anyone's gender identity and it's not a big deal. Have I ever watched Buck Angel on YouTube? Yeah, I've watched Buck Angel. We exchanged some emails. I don't know what happened because I'm really crap at I don't check my emails as much as I should. Maybe I'll end up talking to him one day, I hope. But yeah, I quite like his videos. I don't agree with everything he says, but I don't agree with almost anything anyone says all the time, so.
But yet be so adamant how other people should assume your gender.
That part is more fair. Like, if you're going to speculate on other people's gender identity, the way to do it is to not care if other people do it to you. So I'll speculate on anyone's gender identity because I don't give a fuck if people do it to me. I'll make fun of other people's looks. So I don't really give a fuck if people make fun of my looks. I'll give people whatever pronouns I feel like giving them because I don't care what pronouns people give me. Like, the hypocrisy angle is a little bit stronger. Like, disrespectful. Like, honestly, who cares? You want to say that Kurt Cobain might have been trans? It's not like he's going to notice, you know?
I fully stand by that video.
What was that look? What's this? I'm better off not going on Buck's channel. I think I'll be fine. I can look after myself. What is this look?
How other people should assume your gender.
Anyway.
I fully stand by that video. Kurt Cobain has been gone for 30 years. Kurt Cobain cannot hear us. No matter what we say about Kurt Cobain's gone. Been gone.
Listen, as much as it's obvious this person just doesn't give a fuck. I'm not very fussed about this. It's true, listen. If people speculate about my gender identity after I die, it's not like I'm going to hear them. It's not like I'm going to care, you know. It is more about the hypocrisy angle. That's more what I'm interested in. And if people are going to criticize lillytino for this, they do need to, look at the wider queer community, in my opinion.
But does that make it okay to speculate that they may or may not have been trans?
Yes. I would never speculate about an alive person being trans because
I don't see a problem with that either. Who gives a fuck? Actually, I say that. I think suggesting someone is trans, if you're trying to lead them in that direction, that can be a bit wrong. You can certainly use that as a way of grooming someone into certain things. Just speculating on whether someone's trans, I don't really care. Transvestigation, I don't know, sometimes it's funny to transvestigate someone, you know?
that can impact that person's life if they don't want to come out, if they're not ready to come out, or if they're not trans in the first place. It's the same reason that we look back on any historical figure. For example, Abraham Lincoln, who, when you look at the evidence, shared beds with men.
Yeah, wasn't this normalized at the time? Wasn't this just something people did? Cobain's daughter might care. There is that, yeah. I don't really have a problem. I know. I'm not very fussed about it myself, I guess. If you want to speculate about someone, I guess that's your lookout. The other half of it is if you're going to speculate about someone, you might get backlash, and you should be prepared for that, you know?
I mean, there's a whole documentary you watch about it, and I did a video about it. The details are escaping me, but we speculate that Abraham Lincoln might have been gay, is the point. We will never for sure know if Abraham Lincoln was gay. Just like we'll never know that Kurt Cobain was trans. But it doesn't hurt to speculate. Who's it hurting? Certainly not Abraham Lincoln. Certainly not Kurt Cobain.
Not out of respect for his family.
What do you mean out of respect?
To speculate about their family member potentially being trans or not. You don't think that's respect or disrespectful to the family?
Well, to suggest that an implication that a deceased family member of yours might have been a certain way. Specifically.
But if it could affect their image of how people look at them per se,
Yeah, it could.
that could be damaging to somebody's image. And if it's your family, that
You say damaging. What about being trans?
I think it could be damaging if it was someone like very influential and a lot of people started taking on this narrative. Like, let's say people listen to this shitty lillytino video about Kurt Cobain, which is a really fucking garbage video, by the way, don't get me wrong. And like, people actually took it seriously and started running with it. And like, everyone's going around everywhere saying, oh, Kurt Cobain was trans. I think at that point I could see a damage, but I guess I don't foresee that happening. It seems like maybe with like the Abraham Lincoln stuff, there's more people going around saying it.
Is damaging.
it wouldn't even necessarily just like speculating about anything. So like personal, like even if it wasn't you speculating about them being trans, but like,
What if I was speculating that Abraham Lincoln was a lefty and like used his left hand? Is that okay?
I don't know. I just feel like, and I don't want to say how I feel like. Okay, we're gonna.
I don't super care at this point. Like, talk about the fact that this person will label other people, but doesn't like being labeled certain things himself. That's the more prominent point here. That's the bit that's more interesting. We're not really making like a case either. Just like, oh, well, it's disrespectful. Oh, well, it might be disrespectful. Like, get to the point.
I'm trying to keep how I feel out of it.
You can say I don't mind. We can.
I want to keep my feelings out of it.
It's rude as fuck. Imagine some random heifer starts making claims about the identity of someone you know and love. I guess, I don't know, maybe I just don't care that much. Maybe that's just me. And it would depend. Like, if lots and lots of people started doing it, it was something that had a chance of actually catching on. I think that would potentially be bad. But I mean, I don't know. It's lillytino. This kind of person is like a law unto themselves. There's really nothing you can say. They're going to do this kind of shit regardless. And unfortunately, it's quite a normal thing in like, I don't want to say like any random queer community, but certainly some of them. And it's a bit irritating when people will only level these criticisms against like an easy target like lillytino, you know?
Okay, let's continue to move on. Do you truly think that your content does more good than harm, or have you ever thought that your content or any specific piece of content might have caused more harm than good?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, countless trans that your content or any think that your content does more good than harm, or have you ever thought that your content or any specific piece of content might have caused more harm than good?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, countless trans creators have spoken out against you and the way in which you choose to create your content. Is this not concerning to you?
Some of those trans creators like to misgender me.
Based, yes.
I think a big narrative that has been really front and center lately, and I think it's hard to talk about this without bringing this up, is that there is a conspiracy theory amongst trans creators specifically that I am not actually trans.
Oh, don't let him do this. You need to bring some like substantive like examples, you know what I mean? You need to say, well, this is why I think you're harmful. This is what I think you're doing that is potentially contributing to like a greater backlash towards trans people. This is how I think you're a poor representative of trans people. We really need to make sure we don't let him take this whole thing off where it's like, well, people are saying I'm not trans. Like, I mean, so what? If you're going to say that Kurt Cobain was trans, then people can say that you're not trans, right? Or that you're a male. Oh, wait, shit, you can't say that. No mention of this from this person, by the way.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Well, I think it's important to get into in context of this question. So when I see a trans creator calling me Nick or calling me him.
Hi, Nick. Hi, Nick. Pronouns he, him.
No, it stinks to see it, but like, how can I take that person seriously? You know?
Okay, but what about, I don't know, I just feel like there's like such a sheer volume of people.
Is that, oh my God, this is so painful. Who was saying this person did a good job? This is not good. This is not good, okay? This is not good. Yeah, but there's like a lot of people saying it. Like, just give some examples. Give him something to like actually respond to. But yeah, lots of people are saying that lillytino's bad. Lillytino is aware and very used to that. You have to like, this person, lillytino, is a fucking master of deflecting criticism and finding a way of like ducking. You know what I mean? People criticize him for taking pictures in a women's bathroom where there's women in the background. Well, loads of celebrities do it when you look at the pictures and clearly there's no one in the background. But because it's like back and forth videos, it's very easy to do. You've got this person in a call. You need to like try and pin some of these things down. Here's a criticism that people are making of you that you've ducked. Like, what's your actual response to that? Like, Jesus Christ.
Like recently, as we've gotten closer into this, I've done a lot of like watching, you know, and scrolling. Seems like there's such like a huge variety. It's not even just those ones that are like singling you out or only basing their platforms off of you, you know.
But to me, he already knows this, you know.
There's so many like offshoot trans creators, little creators, like it seems like there's a fairly large amount of them that aren't specifically like a lillytino T page or whatever, you know.
I mean, what you're asking is,
does that concern you? Does that give you any second thoughts about maybe the way you're...
Okay, that was better. When he starts trying to rephrase the question, cut him off. That was better.
Approaching the way you deliver some of your content, so to speak?
I mean, look, as a content creator, I'm sure you can understand that the thing that makes us successful as content creators, and really the thing that makes someone built to be a content creator in the first place, is having a point of view. I know who I am and what I believe. If someone wants to tell me
Listen, if they actually start drilling in and actually start making them face some of these criticisms, they're ducking like they always do, I'll start coming round to this person. But at the moment, this is not great, in my opinion.
wrong, be them cis or trans, okay. There's certain things that I have done in my life that I've been wrong about. But advocating for trans people is not one of them. And I also think it's important to note that it is really cool and trendy to make content about how awful I am. People know
this is exactly why you don't want to harp on just about the amount of people doing it. What was that noise? I think it's like TikTok or something. I don't fucking know. I don't understand TikTok. I don't go on there. Like, it's quite easy to duck with this kind of stuff. You have to start getting into some of the actual shits. Maybe even ask straight up. You took a picture in a bathroom with women present, and then when you were asked about it, your response was women that don't have other women in the background, acting like they're the same thing, you know?
Views, right? There's a flight attendant who I've never seen in my entire life who's making thousands of dollars saying that I was on their flight and that I got misgendered and that I made a big stink out of it. Didn't happen, right? It's important to note how people can be swayed by their algorithms, right? When it gets down to it,
this person is very, very manipulative.
My content, like, I'm not the only person saying that Kurt Cobain was trans, right? I'm not the only person saying that trans women should be able to use bathrooms. But the way I
should be able to use bathrooms. No one's saying that trans people shouldn't be able to use bathrooms. This is what I mean. You need to like zero in on every little inconsistency because they know that they're being inconsistent and doing it on purpose. Ain't no one saying trans women have to piss themselves. No, they just don't want them in the women's. Generally, if there's a women's toilet, there's another kind of toilet. Maybe a third kind of toilet even.
I say it is different. I know who I am. I know what I believe in. I'm always open to feedback, but I do this because I have something
But when they get feedback, they like bullshit
to say. And if people don't like it, okay. And I think that it's easy to see video after video after video of people trash talking me and ignore the fact that I actually do have a lot of support. It's not everyone that hates me. A lot of people like me. Otherwise, I wouldn't do this. Like, if every single person in my life told me that what I was doing was wrong, and I wasn't like, and I didn't get any nice messages saying that I really helped.
Which of course is not going to happen. Like, come on now, bro. Yeah, you're going to get some people that are like down with what you're doing.
Someone, or to like keep going, or, you know, you got this, girl. Like, I look up to you. I watch your streams every day. Like, it's not insignificant. It's not like I have a small little group of people and the whole world hates me. It's easy when you get stuck in that algorithm of negative videos about me to believe that it's everyone.
lillytino is like a master of deflecting.
But it's really not.
Okay, so how do you justify creating such descriptive content regarding gender reassignment inside of a children?
Oh, let me just move on. I'm sorry, man. People are saying this person is doing well. I don't think this is good. We are really letting lillytino craft and maintain a narrative. Like, you can't just say, well, lots of people are criticizing you. That says nothing. Yeah, it is trendy to hate on lillytino. Everyone fucking knows that. It's very easy to deflect that kind of thing. I'm like, this is disappointing to me. This is very, very disappointing to me.
Children's themed park.
Disney World's for everyone.
But it's themed towards children.
Nope. There's things for children. There's plenty of things for adults too. I mean, plenty of rides, you need to be a certain height. Children can't ride a lot of rides at Disney World.
No one's talking about the ride. Oh, I hate this.
They sell alcohol there. They have events that are just for adults.
So you don't see anything wrong with creating those.
Specify. Don't say those videos. That gives him room to like maneuver. Specify. You were talking about your cock and balls and like kids were present. Holding up a fucking corn dog, turning it inside out.
Those pieces of content, regardless of, I guess, if you think it's geared towards children or not, you don't think there's anything wrong with that?
Well, Disney World is not just for kids. Like, I mean, you could say that I filmed a video. Like, listen, how about this? I
I want to know if you think anything's wrong with that. Yes, so you don't think anything's wrong with that.
No, of course not. Why would anything be wrong with it? There are no kids in the video. Kids weren't listening to me.
How do you know?
What does it accomplish doing it there, and why not make that sort of content in a more private setting or setting that a lot of people perceive to be a children's themed park? Why not do it somewhere else, basically? Why there, of all places?
I mean, this is a bit better. Asking about the optics. He does need to think about the optics of what he does, because the optics of what he does are fucking horrendous.
Because I love Disney World. And there's a lot of fun, interesting visual things that I can use to make content with.
Have you ever visited any Disney park prior to transitioning and becoming a content creator?
Yeah. I grew up in Florida. Busch Gardens, Disney, Universal, Islands of Adventure. Love it. Love it all. How many times I rode the Men in Black ride when I was in middle school, over and over and over again. It was like a part-time job riding that ride.
So, going deeper into that, recently the Florida Attorney General has said that they are investigating the issue regarding your content in and around women's restrooms on your recent trip to Disney World. Do you not think this type of attention is harmful towards our community?
Okay, please tell me that you hold this person to account for how much they blatantly bullshitted this whole issue, where they completely pretended that it didn't matter or wasn't relevant, that specifically in their pictures there were fucking people in the background. Please tell me.
It's a bit of a skewed way to ask that question, right? I guess the real... If you take the Florida Attorney General out of it, maybe we should talk about those pictures to begin with, right? Those pictures I took because it's important to normalize trans women in women's bathrooms. Wouldn't you agree?
Why is that important? What seems to have happened is trying to normalize trans women in women's bathrooms has created the opposite effect. And women are now more against this shit. That's certainly what I've been seeing. Because it's not about like stealth anymore. It's not about blending in, looking the part. It's about, I have an identity, so now I'm entitled to use the women's bathroom. And people are rebelling against that. Not all women are happy with people like this going into the bathroom. So why is normalizing trans women in the bathroom something you think is a good idea?
Yes, but the argument is that...
I don't agree with that. Oh.
I guess the place you decided to do this is really what all this revolves around. You're adamant that Disney World or Disneyland isn't a children's themed place, but most people, the majority of people that visit or the reason they go is is for the younger age people. Of course, you have adults there and things like that, but the majority of who's attending these parks and what their trips are around going there is children.
False. I mean,
So you don't think that that video and the bathroom selfies and including other people created?
Yeah, we're talking about normalizing trans women. We're back to like the children thing. We're all over the place. You're violating people's privacy. Why do you think there isn't CCTV in bathrooms, like public bathrooms, even in the bits where they're just washing their hands or they don't have anything showing? There's reasons for that shit.
Negative attention towards our community?
Mariah, there is negative attention towards our community whether or not I am making content in Disney.
That doesn't mean you should add to it, you fucking loser.
People are going to find anything they can to attack us with.
Like, I find that completely disingenuous. Like, we've been pushing this like visibility shit for a long time now. We've been like actively trying to get more people to notice like trans people as much as possible. Hang on.
Find anything they can to attack us with.
I don't think this is really true. And I think part of the reason that it might seem this way now is because of how much like ridiculous shit trans people are doing. How much ridiculous shit we push for, like transitioning kids. How much ridiculous shit this person does all by themselves.
No, but we could literally...
There's smarter ways to go about it rather than like doing all of this in like Disney World is the whole thing. Like, as a parent myself, I just can't wrap my head around how you could think that that location specifically would be the place of places to go make these videos about gender reassignment and take bunch of bathroom selfies. With you have people in the back that didn't consent, and they've came out and said they felt uncomfortable. And then you've responded with like a video of somewhat mocking this person. Like all of this you feel is okay to do?
I think
People attack us with anything they can. There's a person handing out knives. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
you're...
Like, you don't see any wrong, Lily?
Huh?
You don't see any wrong in any of this? Like, with consent, and they've came out and said they felt uncomfortable. And then you've responded with like a video of somewhat mocking this person. Like all of this you feel is okay to do?
I think you're...
Like, you don't see any wrong, Lily?
Huh?
You don't see any wrong in any of this? Like,
Ooh, that like, he is actually starting to get quite angry now. We've still got what, 18 minutes. I guess he sticks around for a while. That sounded angry though. That sounded terse.
I think you're...
Like, you don't see any wrong, Lily?
Huh?
You don't see any wrong in any of this? Like,
Huh? It's good to see little victories, you know.
like
Why? Why would I? You tell me.
okay, I'm not.
Ouch. If it takes that little pushback to get you like retreating, then it's painful. You know, the other thing is like, I imagine that lillytino is probably extremely selective of the kinds of people that they will talk to, you know? I imagine that they probably look for people they think that won't provide much pushback or will like crumble quite easily.
That's good. How do you... okay, I'm not... that's good. How do you feel about potentially being investigated and potentially charged with a crime in Florida? Like, how does Lily feel about this being like a thing?
I see someone said about his body language. I see what you mean. It's getting more and more like, you know, strange human being. Doesn't have any standards, doesn't respect boundaries. Very true. Yeah. It's all about him. He didn't give a fuck what anyone thinks. To the point where even like the misgendering stuff, he probably doesn't even actually give a fuck about that. Unless it really is like a narc rage kind of thing.
It is already a crime to be trans in Florida.
Oh, fuck off. It's already a crime to be trans in Florida. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. By what measure? Like, what a victim.
It is already a crime to be trans in Florida, more or less. And it is becoming...
Listen, they call the UK Turf Island. Would he say the same about the UK? Because I can tell you something for nothing. It's fine. It's really not that bad. It's not illegal to be fucking trans here. Is it illegal to be trans in Florida? By what measure?
Bad. More and more every single day. Being trans puts a target on your head in Florida. Whether or not you are a content creator.
I don't think it has to. The interviewer did say at the beginning they didn't want to put their feelings across. You can see they're biting their tongue, not want to unleash a barrage. I guess, but like they're rolling over. They're kind of, it comes across like they're getting manipulated. Like, are they that worried about like lillytino like hanging up or something? I don't know, man. Surely getting this person to show off their fucking male narc rage would be a win.
Making a point, target on your head in Florida. Whether or not you are a content creator making a point in Disney is unsafe. Trans people.
So was he unsafe the entire time he was in Florida? Was he unsafe at the times that he was taking pictures of himself in the fucking women's toilets? Let's find the fucking, listen, I love the fucking walking video. It's amazing. Does this look like someone who feels unsafe, that feels like their very existence in Florida is illegal? He fucking went there of his own accord, by the way. Is this person scared for their life? Do they feel like any tiny thing they're going to do is going to get them in trouble because they're trans? I don't believe it for a second. There's like pure manipulation. They think that they can get this person on the whole trans victim shit. And maybe he's right. Maybe he will be able to get him on this thing. This person is like confident. They're walking fucking tall. They're not scared to be here. They don't feel like their very existence is illegal in Florida. I'm sorry. Not true. Complete bullshit. Like, this person is being manipulated in real time. That's what we're seeing here.
You were making a point in Disney. You knew the significance that the location would have on the content you were creating. You know how it was going to be perceived going into it. This wasn't.
Like, no, I don't know. You know how it's perceived. All he has to say is, no, I didn't. No, I don't see it that way. Push back. It's not fucking illegal to be trans in Florida. You weren't scared for your life. If you were scared for your life, what the fuck would you have been doing taking pictures in a woman's bathroom with women present? We've just seen from the back, this person doesn't look like a woman at all. Oh, it's fucking embarrassing.
It wasn't a surprise to you when you...
The point that I am trying to make, and a point that I think I make quite well, is that we are not going to be sitting around in our houses sad that we can't be ourselves in public. I'm allowed to be trans at Disney.
So it's not illegal to be trans in Florida then. Florida will not prosecute for the bathroom law. Marcy Rankin proved that. Yeah, they're not charging her or anything. So I don't know, man. Kind of seems like what he said moments ago was complete bullshit. Oh wait, I knew that.
Okay. There is this weird misconception that I'm going around Disney World, handing out corn dogs to kids, saying, oh my gosh, have you heard?
And then we get to like narrative craft again. We get to exaggerate shit that nobody is saying.
Heard about bottle surgery. Oh my God, if you drink...
Cut him off. No one's saying that.
This drink, just drink it, you'll turn trans, right? Like, I'm making content that is engaging, that is provocative on purpose.
At the same time, controversial. Yeah. Would you not agree?
How art works.
So controversy is going to create negative energy, especially in our political climate that we're in right now. We're being attacked from all angles. You feel that this is the right time and place to be bringing that sort of controversy, which in turn negative attention?
This person seems relatively progressive. I remain steadfast in my opinion that woke types, progressive types, cannot fucking criticize lillytino. They can't do it. They have to cop to things like, oh, it's so dangerous for trans people right now as we sit in our rather nice looking houses. Like, come on.
To the trans community?
Be like...
You think it's more beneficial than it is harmful?
So what's the alternative? Let's say that...
Not making that content at Disneyland is the alternative. Doing it somewhere else besides Disneyland and Disney World. Like, people make content at Disneyland and Disney World, but they're eating the corn dogs. They're not talking about turning them inside out. and using cake pops to describe
Okay, we're finally growing a bit of a spine now.
bodily parts.
I think
Like-
so.
Do you describe bodily parts?
I think
Like-
so.
I can't hear what he's saying just then. Hang on.
Using cake pops to describe bodily parts.
I think
Like-
so.
I cannot hear what he's saying just there. Oh well.
Do you ever feel
What's Lily's end goal for a psyche community socially at large? This just behavior of a self-involved narcissist? Quite possibly. And the sad part is, unfortunately, where trans is a lot about looking in at yourself and stuff like that, like, these online trans communities do end up being like breeding grounds for like narcissism, unfortunately. That's not to say that every trans person is a narcissist. I don't think that's true at all. I don't think it's necessarily even true of most trans people. But people like this, it's very easy to thrive. Because it's all about like navel gazing. It's all about staring within yourself. Often past the point of what is healthy. Hence all the fucking surgery and all that.
that there is a line you shouldn't cross,
lillytino has a toilet fetish. She wants to be a toilet.
or you're willing to cross any line to get that attention, that views, that to get your word out?
Two things. Number one, I recently posted a video about sports, and we don't need to talk about it other than for me to say, when I was filming that, specifically the shots on the track and field, there were children around.
Where are they talking about the genitals? Yet another deflection, potentially. Where is it?
Trans women are the best at sports. Swish.
The testosterone surging through our muscles gives us super strength.
Well, most trans women don't have much, if any, testosterone in their system.
But that doesn't mean we
Yes, the hormone levels are the be-all and end-all and not your overall strength. How much it actually goes down via HRT. Where there is evidence that even after like 3 years, some strength advantage remains. Not to mention your frame, lung capacity, fast twitch muscle fibers, all kinds of stuff.
we aren't still better. After all, we do have the biological advantage. It's not like athleticism is determined by anything other than what's between your legs. But
Now, if he wasn't so creepy, this might be at least slightly funny, but nah, not for me.
that's true, it means that some trans women are great athletes, but some are flat out bad, just like cis women. And trans women lose at sports all the time, but that doesn't get reported on.
Does it not? I think it does. I think people are like unhappy whether they're winning or losing.
Because they want you to be scared of us, like we're taking something from you. And the very small number of trans women who do compete do it for the love of the game, not because they need
That's the case, why can't they compete with men?
attention or couldn't win at men's sports.
Then why aren't they playing with the men then?
Nah, that can't be
I'm not on screen. Listen, you don't want to see me today.
true. Trans women are definitely the best at sports.
Okay, so we didn't mention his cock and balls once, so this is completely irrelevant. Apparently they're like potentially ducking out. Well, we'll look at that afterwards though.
They were around. Children are everywhere.
Children at and this person is letting this happen. I'm sorry, it's not good enough.
That's what I'm trying to say. They're at the park. They're everywhere except my apartment, right? I can't go walk down the street for 5 minutes without seeing someone with a kid, right? We exist in public as trans humans.
Doesn't matter if there are those that lose all the time, they're still taking a spot from a woman. Yeah. If it's women's sports, then there shouldn't be males in there. That's just how it is. The evidence does not suggest that trans women are competing at the same level. It suggests that they still have advantages. There's never any arguments made as to why they can't just compete with men. Certainly not any arguments that can't be used in exactly the same way versus trans women in women's sports, you know?
Human beings. Kids exist at Disney. Kids exist outside of Disney. I like Disney.
Great argument. That's how this person operates. It's not about making good arguments. It's just about presenting any argument at all in a vaguely persuasive kind of way. He's slippery. Yeah, exceptionally slippery. This person is calculated. They know what they're doing.
Disney because I love theme parks. Okay? I love food. I love silly, funny content. I grew up watching a show called Good Eats, where
Are you calling the content you made at Disneyland silly, fun content?
yeah, I'm cutting a corn dog. That's silly.
But the manner in which you're
We're also talking about your dick and balls. I've just discovered you. Are you a gender non-conforming man? You can call me that if you want. I transitioned quite a long time ago. I accept whatever label people give me pretty much. I don't consider myself a woman or like female.
doing it and the descriptions you're using it as.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't think that's okay.
Okay. I mean, a lot of people don't think being
Huge
trans.
amounts of people, like, and it makes them feel negative towards other people that are trans.
I don't know. Here's a potential example. Let's say a man goes to Disneyland, sits in the middle of a cafe with his kids around, and starts loudly to his phone describing the process for like checking for testicular cancer. Like, is that okay around kids? Is there not something that you could maybe be doing by yourself?
Trans,
Okay.
regardless if they agree with it or not.
Do you truly believe that without my content, people would feel no negative feelings towards trans people?
I feel
Oh, it's so gross, man. Of course they still would. What this person is at least somewhat trying to say is that you're making it worse. There's more negative feeling about trans people because of your existence.
like there would be less.
You think that I'm
Hey, there we go. There we go. Thank you.
responsible for a lot of negative feeling towards trans people?
It doesn't have to be a lot, any.
I think you have a significant reach. Your most viewed videos is 40 million, nearly 40 million.
These faces, he's actually like getting a bit angry. This person has succeeded in at least one thing, and that is like, you can see how this person can't really handle like confrontation. They call themselves confrontational. But they're used to getting what they want as well, because they're used to weaponizing their trans identity, because that's what some of these people do. They weaponize their trans identity.
A lot of negative feeling towards trans people.
I think you.
Like, at the very least, we're seeing what happens when someone doesn't just completely, like, capitulate to everything. Oh no, Lily, you're correct. Oh no, here's a free drink for the terrible, terrible crime of someone calling you a man.
You have a significant reach. Your most viewed videos is 40 million.
Not even close to 40 million. Like,
It's 39 million I checked today.
what?
39 million is in fact almost 40 million. Hate to break it to you. Although, oh no, 39.4 million. Yes, almost 40 million. Listen, caught lillytino in a lie. Well done.
Where am I getting 40 million views? I'm not getting paid for 40 million views. Maybe 4.
Okay, to keep going into that, what's the most amount of money you've ever earned off a single video? Are you willing to say that?
Okay. Was probably the video that Elon Musk commented on a couple of years ago. And I will say that the average I make on any given video is a couple $100.
Even with millions of views, 10 million views, you get a couple hundred.
I struggle to believe that, but it's difficult for me to say, because I don't know TikTok. It's possible that maybe they get much more through like donos and stuff like that. They go live and stuff.
Dollars?
I mean, if you're in the creator program, you know that the RPM, the rate per mil, TikTok ain't generous with that. Depends on a lot of things. A lot of things.
I do know you have to have qualified views and things like that. I don't really make money on views, so. But I've seen as much as $1,000 per million views RPM.
Wait, what? Say that one more time?
$1,000 per a million views for RPM.
Not even close. It's like RPM.
You know that every creator's RPM is different based off a bunch of different things.
No.
So you talked about your following and having a lot of people that support you, and you're not wrong. You have over 400,000 followers, right?
Yes.
Okay, currently there is a petition with over 500,000 signatures, more than that follow you, that think you should be banned, regardless of if you could actually be banned from a petition like this. How does it feel knowing that large amount of people think that what you're doing is not appropriate and shouldn't be allowed on TikTok?
There are more than 500,000 people in the world that believe that trans people shouldn't exist. So I'm not.
Please don't let him get away with this. Even if that's true, who fucking cares? How many of these people think that black people shouldn't exist or whatever other shit? I don't know, man.
Too bothered.
Not appropriate and shouldn't be allowed on TikTok.
There are more than 500,000 people in the world that believe that trans people shouldn't exist. So I'm not too bothered.
I mean, listen, it's a petition. Petitions don't do shit.
Okay. So you do not do and make this content and this, what you know is controversial. You said yourself going into Disneyland, you knew the reaction you were going to get. If you're not doing this for views and money, why take your content so far and be so controversial about it?
The point is not to be controversial.
Again, every time we ask like a vague question like this, it's so easy for this person. So many directions they can go in.
The point is to engage.
There's been a couple of good moments. I will give this person that, but yeah, this has been rough. This has actually been quite rough. I'm sorry, man.
Educate. If you sit down and aim a camera at your face and say, bottom surgery is the process by which a surgeon takes a blah, 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 and does a blah, 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 and flips the blah, 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 no one's going to care. No one cares. But if you take an otherwise boring topic, whatever it is, and this is why I was talking about the shows that inspired me as a kid. Good Eats is one of them. Bill Nye the Science.
Mac Trevi called you a pedo. You know you can block people, right? You can block each other. If you don't like each other in chat, you can block each other. You know you can do that.
Guy, Iron Chef, Mythbusters. These shows all take scientific concepts. Maybe not Iron Chef, but they take relatively uninteresting textbook concepts and they bring them into their content with props, with lights, with music, with all these different things to make it fun and exciting. And that's how they teach you, right? No one cares about a textbook. It's boring.
Yeah, but it's a more fragile environment that we live in, especially in this.
Made them comfortable enough to reveal things. What have we revealed? What's been revealed? This person has been like manipulating the entire time. They've been narrative crafting. All we've really seen is that they're actually more uncomfortable than they're letting on, having a vaguely combative conversation. And we've caught him in like a lie or two. Like, I don't know. I'm struggling for much positive to say. I'm sorry. I'm not saying, listen, would I have done better? I don't fucking know, but like, Jesus Christ. Am I good at technical analysis crypto? I'm going to guess not. I really don't know anything about crypto.
Political environment that we have and all these things that trans people are dealing with, to purposely go into Disneyland.
And the problem is when we're also appealing to like how hostile like the world is to trans people, we're kind of making him like, we're giving him room to continue spinning this narrative. That's his whole fucking bread and butter anyway.
And talk about such descriptive.
Oh, Billboard Steve went to Brighton. Jesus Christ, that's brave. Listen, fucking hell. It's arguably as braver than going to fucking Hebden Bridge twice.
And inappropriate things at some points.
What's inappropriate about it?
It's talking about your nuts around kids, bro.
It's just not an appropriate thing to do at Disney World.
Why?
What's inappropriate about it? Well, it's not appropriate. Like, come on, please, I beg you.
I don't understand how you think that is okay. And going into more of this, some would argue that your content is being aimed and directed at.
I'm sorry, am I like hearing a different thing to some other people? All they're doing is just saying the same thing over and over. Like, I'm surprised lillytino is getting as stressed as he is at this, because it's like easy. This should be like piss easy. But I guess someone like this is used to getting in their way, so they're still showing glimpses of like the anger, you know?
At children. Between the impersonation of children's characters and the content in the Disney parks, you've even gone as far as creating other content, as you would like to put it, while portraying children's characters. How do you justify this, and how could you think that this type of behavior is acceptable?
Like Velma?
several children's, or not several, I know of two. That one and
Lola Bunny?
Miss Rachel.
Oh, I never.
Two different. I'm not saying you did both in the other con. Miss Rachel.
Oh, I never.
Two different. I'm not saying.
Is he trying to say, oh, I didn't do OnlyFans as Miss Rachel? That's not the point he's making. The point he's making is you post like yourself being Miss Rachel in a like supposedly kid-friendly video. Then the next thing is some like OnlyFans tease. That's the point.
So you did both in the other content, but you've used children's characters.
I've never brought Miss Rachel into other content, ever. Nor would I.
Yeah, that's not the point. Oh, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. Every time. He just slips away. Slips away. Slips away. Like, restate what you're actually saying. Drill down.
You have a video where you're like dressed up like Miss Rachel. Am I wrong?
There's no... Velma has been a character for like 60 years, and...
Well, the thing is, if all you're doing is saying, can't you tell it's inappropriate? All he has to really do is like, well, how? I don't see how it is. How? How is it inappropriate? At that point, they should say how it's inappropriate, such as you're talking about your cock and balls around kids. You've got a video of you being Miss Rachel, explaining like weird fucking trans concepts to kids. Then the next video you post on the exact same page is like some OnlyFans tease.
Is a staple in cosplay, both other content and otherwise, and I think it's ridiculous to suggest that Velma is, cosplaying Velma is crossing a line.
So you don't understand why people are upset about that? You don't understand why that makes people upset?
Say that one more time?
You don't understand why those situations would make people upset.
Oh, I understand. I'm not stupid. I mean, I get it. But also, like...
Well, now he gets it. Okay.
The alternative, like, yes. I could say, you know what? My content is too provocative. Let me just dial it down a little bit. My content immediately becomes...
Yeah, that's going to fix it.
Boring. And... the message you send out.
You think you only have something if you're controversial? I don't think that's true. I think we have the power to do a lot without like drawing the lines and like taking things as far as we can possibly take them.
That's just who I am. And there is no reality in which we as a trans people can advocate for ourselves and make progress without upsetting people.
That's fucking cope. That doesn't mean that he's doing things the right way. What people like to do, I've had Brianna Wu do this. Like when I watched Brianna Wu talking to Chud Logic, and I know people personally have done the exact same fucking thing and it does my head in. They'll say things like, well, this is the only option I have available to me. Well, I don't have many options when it comes to advocating, so we're doing this, like talking about the Hogwarts Legacy boycott. It's just fucking cope, man. You could just not do that shit.
For ourselves and make progress.
Like, people might always have a problem with what you're doing. That doesn't mean you shouldn't evaluate what you're doing and try and do something that's gonna actually reach people.
Without upsetting people. People do not want us to exist. It doesn't matter what.
Yeah, you're right. There's people that just don't want us to exist, but drawing such negative attention, it creates negative energy and it just builds and builds and spreads like a wildfire.
Why is it negative?
Because it's so controversial.
Why is it controversial? I know I'm like...
Let's go to Disneyland and make it controversial.
Oh, I know it's controversial. Why is it controversial? Fucking hell.
Controversial, and you did that as a conscious thought. You just said you knew that going there, the reaction you were going to get.
This is my ultimate criticism for this person. They don't do enough, like, specifics. There's too much. Well, what you do is controversial. Well, what you do is inappropriate. That's what I'd want to see, I think, is like more specifics. Like, make it harder for him to slip out of the net constantly, because that's what we're seeing.
Consciously went there knowing that it was going to cause controversy and create negativity and build on the wildfire of hate that is already directed at the trans community. You did all this willingly and knowingly. You're smart, Lily. I know you're smart. I know you're smart, Lily.
I know I'm smart too. Let's talk about that last thing you said, right? Adding to the wildfire of hate against the trans community, okay? Without me, take me out of the equation, the wildfire is raging. Look.
This is true, but he's still one of the worst examples. There are a lot of other trans activists also causing problems, also doing stuff that is like antithetical to like trans acceptance. Most of them, I'd say. There's a lot of fucking idiot trans activists. Don't we know all too well? But he's still like one of the worst ones. Who has sleep deprivation? That'd be me.
At the legislation, you know. It's out there. It's bad days, tough days. The alternative to making content that is not provocative, right? Pushing people's understanding, pushing people's, poking and prodding at people's internalized transphobia, right? I know that when people I knew when I was taking those pictures in the bathroom, that when people saw them, even people who say they are allies, internalized transphobia will be triggered, right? Seeing a clocky trans woman in a bathroom, it's going to trigger some people. That's the point.
Again, we slip by that there's like other people there.
Is to challenge people's...
This is woe is me. Oh, well, I'm a clocky trans person. People are going to have a problem with it.
Trying to trigger people, though. That's a negative energy. You're triggering them in a negative way.
I mean, if thought-provoking art is crossing a line, then we just have a disagreement.
What this person makes is not art, to be clear.
On what art is. If you are upset that a piece of art...
Art is not going to Disneyland cutting up a corn dog. That is not art. That's diabolical.
What are you talking about? Why not?
Have you ever communicated with a minor in an inappropriate way?
No.
There's an allegation of a stream and a mom coming in and a change in the subject.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. I know about this.
The vegetable thing? I made a video about that. That person was 25 years old. There are people in the stream right now in my stream. I guess you can't see them. They were there.
So that was just a misunderstanding. I know there's misunderstandings, and I know people skew things. We saw that prior to this when somebody made a video that looked like you were saying something about me. But when I step...
Wait, so that person was 25? I need to see, like... I can't remember what they were called. And there's the other thing. There's so many fucking commentary videos. Did Blair White mention it?
Be honest, Shelbert. Or do you enjoy yours?
Is this transvorsh? Yes.
Being consumed. Be honest. Shelby's typing. Big moment for Shelby. All right, there's a bomb. Oh, this is my favorite. It's a. Oh no.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Yeah, so what we need is confirmation of this person being a minor. Because I remember this whole thing. I don't remember whether there was like proof that this person's a minor.
Shelbert's mom is listening.
Now, I am talking entirely about groceries, fresh, but you like, you know, bananas, mangoes, grapes, vitamin C. Jesse likes watermelons, 2 of them, of course.
So cringe as well. Like, oh.
Now, if you had to rank the watermelons on a scale from A to B to C to D, or, you know, even double D, how, just, oh my God.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh my God, this chat. Jesse also likes eggplants. Good. My mom said she was born at night, but not last night. Interesting.
So, shout out to the investigation about taking the pictures in the bathroom. That should continue. However, I'm going to need one to be opened on this as well. That was, I don't even need to spell that out for you. I really don't. I don't need to explain to you what that was. And this video, for me, vindicates exactly what I've said for so long before I ever...
Yeah, no, what I need is like proof of them being a minor. Was there proof of this?
Was aware of this video or some of the creepier stuff, the investigation. I've been saying that lillytino is in fact a pedo since day one, because you can just tell. I
was just in the women's room at age
25 years old, their mum was in the bedroom at 25, totally. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, I do in fact need proof that this person's a minor, or at least some kind of compelling evidence. I can't just be like, is lillytino, they must be noncing it up. I don't operate that way. Fuck that. Did they say anything before the advert, maybe?
Really creepy, but then here in Disney, it's like extra layers of creepy and wrong. Is there anything happening from a state level on this topic?
Yeah, we're investigating this. No tolerance. We're investigating this one. We've already cracked down on some gyms.
Minors lie about their age. True, but that's not proof that that person is underage.
in South Florida.
So obviously I support this person going to prison. That's a no-brainer. That's a movement I can get behind. However, there's something else that people are just not talking about. At least I don't see anybody talking about this. I got sent a video of lillytino allegedly talking to a child over the internet. And it's probably the most disgusting, filthy, nasty, sick video I've like ever seen. And for some reason, no one's talking about it. Even like other YouTubers who are trying to, you know, clock Big Back Cadillac are not including this. So let's just watch it. Thank you, Midas Merge.
Do we not get any, like, is there not anything? It's just like mirrored. It's so strange. So it's just alleged. I could have sworn I've seen videos talking about this, and now suddenly I can't find shit. Talks to minors online.
Like groceries?
No description has been added to this video.
Be honest. Be honest, Shelbert. Or do you enjoy yours?
I was just them being disgusting. I peed. Fucking hell. Yeah, the problem is I don't know if there's like any proof, unfortunately, or any real evidence. And if that's the case, then when it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Step back and I look at everything from a holistic view and take opinions from all across the board. I see so much more negative responses to the content you create than I see positivity or people being uplifted. I just, as I stand back and look at this, from not looking at either view, whether I like you or I don't like you, the overall consensus that I see is the majority of people are not happy with any of this. They think it's completely unacceptable.
Okay. Am I seriously the only one that's noticed that this person has asked the same question about 20 times at this point without any meaningful, like, development of the question to make it drill down into anything?
I mean, once again, we get back to the idea that our algorithms tell us what we want to hear. There are plenty of people.
That's not true, though, because I've done all sorts of research. I'm not just stuck on the everybody against Lily algorithm. I've looked in all corners. I've talked to all different sorts of people. I've seen all different sorts of things.
And you know,
the overall consensus is
not the like
more negative than it is positive.
Versus my TikTok comments. I refuse to be someone I'm not. I am a clocky.
I refuse to be someone I'm not, but don't call me a he, don't call me a man. Okay, bro.
Confrontational, provocative person. That's who I am.
I'm a fucking prick, and I can't see why that makes me a bad representative of my people. There we go.
I am. I am not the kind of person who is going to make content that is goody two-shoes trans girl. Oh my God, I have every box ticked for you. I'm exactly what you want to see so that we can, please, please, please give us our rights. Please, we'll be exactly who you want us to be.
So how far
what rights
are you willing to go with this? Is there no line you wouldn't cross?
Of course
if you're willing to go to Disneyland and
trying to brute force a yes, I am bad PR for trans confession, but Lily is a slippery pickle. Yes, I agree. I'm underwhelmed by this. I think people are giving this person too much credit, quite frankly. I don't know if it's quite... I don't know. It feels a bit on level with like the Brianna Wu, like Marcy Bowers thing. Because Brianna Wu made a fucking twat out of herself. At the same time, she got a couple of interesting like nuggets of information out of Marcy Bowers about the Delphi approach in regards to trans children. Marcy Bowers literally at one point spells out ROGD, something that she's generally been against, and has a thing on her website saying there's almost no proof this exists, and then like literally spells it out. There was some interesting like concessions there. This person isn't anywhere near as embarrassing as Brianna Wu, but we also haven't really gotten much out of lillytino other than, more of a sense of like how bad their attitude is, which we already knew, right? We already knew that this person is, confrontational and probably doesn't take much to anger them. All we've really gotten is a sense of what happens when someone doesn't immediately capitulate to this person.
Make the content you make and take bathroom selfies with people that aren't willing participants in the background, posting that for millions of people to see. Is there no
Jeez, we finally get to the fucking people in the background.
No line you wouldn't cross? Like, when does it stop? Like, what length do you stop going to get your word out or get your message out?
I probably need to be misgendered in space. That's probably the farthest I would go.
Okay, last thing. Would you like the opportunity to...
And they get away with like a stupid joke as well.
...publicly apologize or take accountability for any of your actions or to anyone you've negatively impacted?
I'm gonna pass on this.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you for sitting down with me.
Thank you very much.
Lily is a sociopath, to be honest. Like, again, I already knew Lily was a sociopath. I already knew this person is, like, not right in their head. I watched that fucking trans sports video they did. You can immediately tell something is not right here. I don't know that I needed this, like, whole ass video to tell me this. Well, I don't know, man. I'm not trying to be harsh. But I'm just hearing the same question over and over. I'm seeing a lack of like ability to like specify and drill down into anything.
I tried to keep my thoughts and opinions on matters out of it as much as I could, but I got a little
my friend
too far in there. I have no disrespect for you as a human. I respect all humans. I don't agree with a lot of the things you have done. I appreciate that you're willing to sit here and let me ask these questions. And yeah, I don't know if you have any last things you want to say.
That's it. I think we've covered it.
All right. Take care.
Take it easy.
Very frosty end there as well. Wow. But then apparently they posted this very recently.
So the whole point of why I do what I do, which is create content, is to educate and to entertain, in that order. And I think that recently...
Does anyone else feel like maybe there are a lot of people trying to educate people? Maybe they're not cut out for educating people. Maybe more people should be less arrogant than to think that they are able to educate anyone on anything, you know?
My content has taken a bit of a shift to be more, well, I'm hurt. I am deeply hurt because of the amount of...
He's not hurt. I don't believe this for a second.
...hate that I've gotten over the past 3 years doing this, 2.5 years. And that hurt has influenced the way that I do things. As a content creator, especially as a streamer.
I don't agree that people don't need to be educated. I just think a lot of people fancy themselves as educators when they're really not up to the job.
I'm always on camera, talking all the time, daily updates.
Like, this is all completely fucking fake. This is hollow.
Where I'm at. And I think that...
Like, he might maybe have realised that he comes across a bit more of a dick in that interview than he meant to. Because he certainly did.
That the hurt that I feel has influenced the way that I've pushed in my content to be confrontational and be in your face about what I'm trying to do, which is ultimately teach people about trans things, and hopefully make for a more accepting world. But I don't want the hurt to be a part of it anymore. That shift is not fun for me at all. It's actually really awful, and it doesn't just impact me, but my family and my friends, and I'm not here to hurt anybody. I'm always going to be a confrontational person, but I think there's ways to do it that are not channeling the anger I feel at the world for hurting me. So to that end,
More manipulation. It's more manipulation.
and I'm gonna take a break. I don't know.
He'll be back. He'll be back in no time. Come on.
Oh, when I'll be back? I'll be back, but I don't know when. I need to take some time.
This is like some fake as fuck pretense of like accountability, knowing that he's a complete fucking jerk, and that a lot of people are onto him in that regard. It's completely hollow.
I'm not going to change myself for anybody. That's never going to happen. But I am going to work on the way that my hurt has taken over my content in some ways. So,
Like, if he actually felt like he had something to be accountable for, and he actually had some genuine reason as to why he's doing this, he wouldn't be like struggling this much to come up with something to say. This is like, it's such bullshit, man. Such bullshit.
Thank you.
Who's the first most unhinged transgender? Is it me? Maybe it's me. I don't know. I wouldn't even necessarily disagree with that.
For all the support. And we'll see you somewhere down the road.
Wow. Wow. Listen, if it's longer than 2 weeks, I'll be surprised, honestly. Probably just going on fucking holiday or some shit. Not being completely affirmed by someone is stressful for him. Oh, he posted like, what's this?
I do not know Lily personally, and I've had very little interaction.
Oh, he posted like the full thing. Crazy. Ian Danskin coded, maybe. I mean, suppose he rinses his audience constantly. He doesn't need to start a GoFundMe or anything. Ian Danskin's a prick, by the way. Fuck that guy. We've got the full unedited video.
In 2007, if you went to a grocery store or a salon or anywhere that sold magazines, there was one singular face on every single front page, and that face was Britney Spears. I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. Britney Spears, if you asked anyone, what's going on with Britney Spears? They would say something to the effect of...
You like his disgusting little turf fringe, by the way.
...of, she's gone crazy. She's crazy. She's insane. She shaved her head. Oh my gosh. She's off the deep end. Anyone, you'd ask, because we saw certain pictures and read certain articles that painted Britney to be just crazy, insane. Now, in 2007, we had no idea about her concern.
What's this stream? I'm watching lillytino right now. Hi, Diego Brando. Hope you're good. Oh, thank you, Jake. I appreciate that.
Conservatorship, about the abusive people she had around her, nor did we know any of the things that she was forced to do because of her conservatorship. We had a one-dimensional view of this human, and we crucified her for years. For a few years, Britney, the word Britney, was shorthand for crazy. She pulled a Britney, right? But now, in 2025, we look back on those days, and I think most people might feel a little shameful about it. Like, oh, God, we were a little off base there. Now, sure, Britney, even today, is a little quirky, but we understand why, right? Right? We know what happened between her and Justin Timberlake. We know how he set her up to take a fall. Conversation shift. Perspectives.
I really hate that you can't speed up TikToks.
Shift. If enough people say something, it's easy, because our brains are not as evolved as we'd like to think they are. It's easy to believe if you hear it enough and with enough volume that something is true. Even if it's something as like insidious as this person is bad. It's a human thing, but those things can change and we can change. We can change our perspective on the past. I hope that some people, as time goes on, realize that I am not a villain that I'm being painted out to be.
Okay, it's all in service of, I'm a victim just like Britney, and one day you'll all be like, oh, we were too mean to lillytino. Come on.
I would love if that happened.
He's going to come back and start comparing himself to fucking Jesus and shit like that. Clearly, he's probably not even a bad person. He's just really bad at being a person and pathetic failure. I don't know, man. I'm seeing like the stone cold eyes of a psychopath here. I should get him next to Helen Weberly and see whose eyes are more like devoid of soul.
But regardless, if it happens or doesn't happen, I'm going to keep doing my thing. I'm going to keep streaming, keep making videos, keep hanging out with y'all, because I believe in what I do. And a lot of people do. A lot of people believe in what I do. No matter how much you like
fucking dandruff in there, gross.
like to believe that everyone hates me.
Nice. That's all we got. And now he's taking a break after that debate interview.